something that your mother wouldn't want you to say. Okay. So we stopped yesterday on page 208, I believe. And we were talking about Ma'ariv, right? That's why we were just about to start, page 208. So we explained yesterday that Ma'ariv is Tfilat Reshut, right? I think you're going to have to move over one, unless it's a woman. Let's see. But it's probably the guy who always comes at this time. Oh, it's a woman. Hey, Jordana. Wow, I have to make a shachiyonu. Okay, can you two share a book? You know Limor? Yeah, of course. Good. We're talking about Ma'ariv. For those who didn't say it last night. Actually, Ma'ariv, if you missed Ma'ariv at night, you don't do a second Shemoneh Esrei Shachris, I don't think. Right? By Mincha, if you miss Shachris, you do a second Shemoneh Esrei with Mincha. If you missed Mincha, you do a second Amidah at Ma'ariv. But if you missed Ma'ariv, you don't do a second Amidah. Somebody's here? Shaya?
What's the reason?
Because Ma'ariv is Rishus. It's not a chayva. That's what we're talking about.
So could you repeat if you want?
No.
No.
It's not a there was no obligation in the first place.
All right.
Right? Mr. Singer, this is the next one. Yankov. You bring a chair between these two guys or between those two guys and you'll share with them. Okay, good.
Yeah.
He doesn't like wood.
Oh, I thought it's all.
Yeah. Somebody was. You went to say somebody still is, right? You know, when you go to a wedding over here and you get up for the dancing and you come back to your seat, it's not your seat anymore. By the Haredi weddings, forget it. You know, like it's your seat only as long as you're sitting in it.
And even then, it's not your seat.
No, while you're sitting in it, it's yours. I was at a wedding and I stood up for a minute and I sit down and I fall on the floor. Somebody had taken the chair away behind my back, you know. It wasn't so funny, but I didn't get hurt. But you know what?
It was a good story.
Huh?
It was a good story.
It was a good story. It was good. It was a quick lesson on stop being so haughty and be a little bit more humble, right? Okay, Vayivga b'makom. So the Torah says that Yaakov Avinu came upon the place, but so Rashi brings us it was from the Gemara that from here we learn that Yaakov Avinu established Ma'ariv. Okay, Yaakov tikin tfilat arvit. Rashi says that Yaakov established the Ma'ariv prayer, right? Avram Avinu taught us. Oh, this is shyness. Maybe Michal, I don't know. Hashem Mevax. Is there another book there you did behind the stools? Behind the stools on the left. Mach plastic bring him a plastic brinkel. Yeah, there was another one? Good. Michal, you skipped school yesterday?
No. I didn't get to school. I fell asleep, and I slept until 11:30.
Yeah, I'm saying, but you weren't here for the shiur yesterday. 12:30.
I can appreciate the shiur
If you come every day.
if it comes. It's like a girl says to the young boy who wasn't home, and she said, if you don't go home, I won't have the chance to miss you. See, you get to be my age and you do that. Oh, hello. And you remember all the idiotic things.
Okay,
Okay.
page 208. Good. So, Tfilat ha'erev ein la zman kavua. The evening prayer doesn't have a fixed time. Ela zmana ad alot hashachar. its time is all the way until the rise of the morning star. Now, so in other words, Shachris, you have to daven by a certain time. Mincha, you have to daven by a certain time, right? It starts at a certain time up to a certain time. If you're a Lubavitcher and you didn't daven Shachris in the right time, you still have to daven. No excuses. You still have to daven.
Only if you're learning Sifas.
That's
the reason why Chabad a minyan Shabbat morning starts at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, but you should still say Kriya Shema before, and you should still say Shema on time, okay? Because I mean, basically, fine. Okay, so that's the basic halacha. I'm not going further into that right now, okay? So, but Maariv, you can daven all night long, okay? The Nosaf, in addition to that, Chachamim lo tiknu et tfilat arvit kechova kemo tfilot shacharit v'mincha. Also, the rabbis did not establish that Arvit, that the evening prayer is actually obligatory, as is the morning and the afternoon prayer. Elahi reshut, it's something that's up to you, right?
Which means that you don't have to daven Maariv?
You don't have to daven Maariv. Everybody's going to call you a sheikus, but you don't have to daven Maariv.
All these years have been davening Maariv, and I don't have to?
Out of the generosity of your heart, yes. Don't regret it.
What does that mean that there's no time limit?
Well, the entire night is good. Shachris, no, Shachris is not the entire morning. Shachris is up till the 4th hour. Okay? Mincha is up till Shkia. Understand? Starting from a certain time. Maariv is all night long. Okay?
Why is Maariv Rishus and Alachiv?
Well, I always appreciate a question that I can say I don't know the answer right now.
Wait.
Okay?
You make me feel so good saying that because I don't know everything either. When I was 18, I knew everything, but now I don't.
Avraham Avinu hevi et hashachar la'olam. Avraham Avinu brought in the morning, right? Shachar it's an interesting word. On the one hand, this shachor is black, right? Shachar is the morning light, and it also means to seek, to yearn. So Avraham Avinu hevi et hashachar la'olam. Avraham Avinu brought the morning into the world. B'shachar ro'im or gadol meir. And what do you do in the morning? You see a great light shining. Zohi tfilat shacharit. That's the morning prayer. L'umat zot, in distinction to the morning prayer, et hatam shel hayom, the taste of the day, efshar litom rak keshehu omed lihistayem. It's only when the day is finishing b'shkiya, at the time of the sunset, that's when you sort of get a taste of what this day was like. Yitzchak Avinu shayach l'madrigat hatam. So Yitzchak is related to the aspect of taste. Avraham Avinu is related to the aspect of seeing the great light, and Yitzchak is related to the aspect of tasting it. Yitzchak Avinu lachein, therefore, kisharatza she'esav yachin lo suda. How do we see this? Because when he wanted Esav to prepare him a meal, he said, Vaseri matamim kasher ahavti. He said to him, make me a tasty dish as I love. So therefore, and therefore we understand that Yitzchak established the afternoon prayer, which is usually said just before sunset. You can do it much earlier in the day if you want to, but in other words, the time for doing it is just before the sun sets. Aval halayla, and what is the night about? In Yano hareach, the night is about fragrance. Hareach nichoach, the fragrance of the sacrifices, right? Because the parts of the animal sacrifices that were to be consumed on the altar, when were they put on the altar? They were put on the altar through the night. Okay, So, and it says concerning the sacrifices, is reach nichoach l'Hashem. It was a pleasant fragrance for Hashem. Yeah. Question? No. Why not? It's okay. So we have sight, taste, and sound, right? You also have sight, taste, and sound, right? The wine is taste, the fragrance is. I'm sorry, I said sound. I didn't mean to say. I mean wine, taste, and sight, taste, and fragrance, right?
That's Havdalah.
You have that at Havdalah also, yeah. So, כשמסתכלים על אדם בבוקר, when you're looking at a person in the morning, רואים את האור שלו, you see his light. בשקיעה, at sunset, אפשר לטעום את הנשמה שלו. At sunset you can taste his soul. אבל בלילה, at night, מתחברים לתודעה יותר גבוהה, you're getting in touch with a higher level of consciousness. Maybe the two of you make a bit more space here, okay? בלילה מתחברים לתודעה. It's okay. Yeah, just move over. He wants a plastic chair anyway. Keep your chair. Yeah. Okay? בלילה מתחברים לתודעה יותר גבוהה. At night you connect with a deeper or a higher level of consciousness. ריח ניחוח קשור לאף. Fragrance is connected. It's okay. He has a chair already. Oh, you want a plastic? All these modern kids, plastic. They want plastic. ריח ניחוח, is still this year, you know?
Thank you.
ריח ניחוח קשור לאף. The fragrance is connected to the nose. הזוהר הקדוש מפליג במדרגת האף. The Holy Zohar goes to great extent to talk about the level of the how special the sense of smell is. And even says that the nose is connected to the source of life, the source of life, right? When Hashem created man, he breathed a soul into his nostrils, right? So Gemara Omeret, the Gemara says, Shadam Karui Chai, the Gemara says a person is called a live being, Kozman Sheyesh Neshima Ba'apo, so long as there's breath in his nostrils, right? That's the definition. Lo halev hu hakoveya. It's not the heart that determines whether the person's alive or not. Ela ha'af, it's the nose. Halev mechubar l'chayim. The heart is connected to life. Aval ha'af mechubar l'chayei techayim, to the life of life. Shoresh ha'chayim, the root of life. Shoresh ha'shorashim sheli, the root of all my roots. B'sha'at b'riyat ha'adam ne'emar, when man was created, it says, Vayipach ba'apach nishmat chayim, that Hashem breathed the soul of life into him. Hashem nafach et ha'neshama mamash l'toch ha'po shel Adam. God breathed. Come in. She can sit here. Hashem breathes. Come sit down. Hashem breathed a soul into his nostrils, right? A soul of life. Hashem nafach et haneshama mamash l'toch ha'po shel Adam. So God breathed the soul of life into his nostrils. Okay, so fragrance is very, very special, right? When Yaakov entered to receive the blessings from his father Yitzchak, what does it say? Yitzchak said, Re'ei reach b'ni kereach hasadeh. Re'ei b'neach b'ni. He said, see the fragrance of my son. Yitzchak ra'a et reach hanichoach shel beno. Yitzchak saw the pleasant fragrance of his son. Hu ra'a et omek ha'omakim shel Yaakov Avinu. He became aware of the deepest depths of Yaakov Avinu's being. Ze ma shero'im k'shemestaklim al adam b'alayla. That's what you see when you're looking at a person at night. Reb Shlomo talks about this a lot also when he talks about Rosh Chodesh, and the fact that we count by the moon and not by the sun, right? The basic distinction being that the sun shows you superficial. The sun's light reveals the superficial light of the person, right? And the moon lets you see deeper, right?
Is that true?
Yes.
That Yitzchak saw the essence of Yaakov? Did he not sense the essence of the clothes that he wore? Didn't he sense that? No.
Let's leave that for now, okay? But let's say both, okay? So what Reb Shlomo is saying is like in other words, he speaks about. We learned this last year that for a business contract you want to work in sunlight. You're dealing with superficial stuff. For when you want to propose this to your soulmate, right? You don't must do it at high noon. It's more, people say it's more romantic under the moonlight. But what Shlomo is saying is that in the moonlight, you see the person, but there's something deeper. It's the deeper aspect of the person that is visible. Okay, check it out, right? It's
something sort of like firm, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, everyone wears masks.
Right.
At night there's no sun.
Now, don't look at my superficiality. See me in depth. Very good. Okay, so I can tell you to do something or not to do something on the level of consciousness. Last paragraph, right? That's a typo, sorry, it's not really a typo. It's al muda and on the not conscious level. But in other words, I cannot command you to do something on the non-conscious level. The prayer that Abraham established is obligatory. Mincha that Yitzchak established is also obligatory. We're obliged to pray Shachris and Mincha. Aber Mariv, Tfilat HaErev, the prayer that Yaakov established, it's not obligatory. Mariv Hirashut, it's up to you. It's something that you have permission to do. Im Chalila Hayta Chova, if it would be obligatory, Zehaya Hores et Kol Ha'inyan, it would destroy the whole thing. Because when you're doing something that's only because it's obligatory, it can only reach your conscious level. The holiness of Yaakov is that he connected us to something much deeper, the Madrigat Ha'al Muda, to the level of the subconscious, Ha'al Muda to the level of the supraconscious, Shel Avodat Hashem. Okay, so I guess if you're from California, I don't have to explain any of this, but for those of us who come from the East, like conscious, subconscious, supraconscious, and so on, you have to understand this a little bit, right? She's California, and you're from the California too. And so you see, that's what they're looking at each other like, we know what we're
little
talking
more
about,
new
right?
age.
Yeah. Okay. So he's going to explain further in the next teaching, which we're going to begin in a minute. Okay. Basically, I have to daven the morning prayer, right? Which part of me is responding to that? My conscious level, right? Minche, I'm obligated. Which part of me is responding? It's my conscious level. I've been told, Shalom, you have to daven mincha. Okay. Mariv is rishut. It's up to me, right? So if I'm gonna do it, right? Am I doing it because is it my conscious level that says I need to do this, or is it something deeper that's motivating me to do it? Because I don't have to do it, right? When you do something that you don't have to do, what's motivating you to do it? You want, right? When you're talking about something that you want to do, it's obviously coming from is something deeper in you than something that I have to do it. I'm obligated to do it, right? So Avram is with seeing, the great light. Yitzchak is about tasting it, and Yaakov is the fragrance of a person. Where does the fragrance come from, right? But when you say, like this, I like the fragrance of this person. What are you talking about? You're talking about their perfume. There's something there's something about them that that it's you like that. It feels good,
Not to belabor the point, but Marav, he doesn't create Shema.
It's two different. We do Shema, but it's together with Marav. But when we say davening Marav, we're talking about the Amidah. Okay, you didn't belabor the point. Okay, so. I once heard for Brendan, that there are people that it's an expression, but they don't try to understand it scientifically. But somebody said to someone, you smell so good, and the guy was thinking that, and he said, not because you yourself you stink, but you're busy helping other people, so I can smell the fragrance of their souls on you. Okay. Yeah. So
we're doing a
could market a new kind of perfume.
So now he's going to explain this further, okay? What is my deepest will? My innermost will. Ein lanu kol hasaga kama haneshama shelanu amuka. We have no idea how deep our souls are. Kama halev shelanu abok, how deep our heart is. Muchachim tamid lishol. We always have to ask, Ad heichan anachnu magiim b'toch atzmenu. How much are we connected within ourselves? In other words, to how much are we connected with our essence? Right? If at the end of the day, or at any time, or even now, you take a look at all the things that you did so far today, and you ask yourself the question, how much of what I did today is what is related to my real essence, and how much of it was just related to my superficial, to my physical life, to my body, right? So, unfortunately, so much of the time we're hardly in touch with our inner essence, right? We're running here, 10 o'clock, I have to go to this shopping center, 11 o'clock, I have to do that, 12 o'clock, I have to do that, etc., etc. And by the end of the day, my gosh, did I even spend 2 minutes in touch with my soul? So l'tzarenu, much to our distress, אפשר לעבוד את השם כל החיים, you can serve God all your life, בלי לגעת אף פעם בפנימיות שלנו, without ever having touched our insides. Right? You know, Reb Shlomo talks about this a lot, right? The kid grows up, gets sent to, in a religious family, gets sent to a religious school, and he's taught to daven and to learn and this and that and so on, and nobody ever talks about your kishkis. Nobody ever talks about what's happening on your inside, right? Hopefully, you do have teachers who do relate with that, right? But it is possible, whether you're surprised or not, it's possible to do everything right, and it never touched your insides. Okay. אפשר להיות קרוב לאדם אחר שנים רבות, ופתאום לשים לב שאנחנו עדיין זרים. You can be sort of friends with somebody for many, many years, and then all of a sudden you discover that you really are strangers. You're still strangers. Lo naganu ze baze. In other words, yeah, we sit next to each other in shul, we sit next to each other at the football game, or we see each other at the bar, wherever you happen to hang out. I see you in the bank, I see you at the office, or whatever it is. Yeah, I know you, I know where you live, I know this, I know that, and I discovered after 12 years, we're really still strangers, right? יכול להיות שאני לומד תורה ומתפרנס ומקיים מצוות ועושה הכל נכון. Maybe I'm studying Torah, making a living, keeping mitzvahs, I'm doing everything right, אבל לשחות, לגעת בפנימיות, to merit, to be in touch with your inner essence, אפשר רק במתנה מלמעלה. That's possible only by getting a gift from heaven. אני יכול להתאמץ מצידי ולהגיע מעט פנימה. I can, on my own effort, get a little bit inside myself. אבל רק אם השם רואה כמה אני נואש ומשתוקק לגעת בעומק העומקים של ליבי, but it's only if Hashem sees how desperate I am and how strongly I'm yearning to be in touch with the deepest depths of my heart, he can have compassion on me, and he can cleanse my innermost essence for me. Nobody's asking a question.
It's profound. You have to think about it.
True, but
what does it mean to clean my insides?
Thank you. Okay, what does that mean to clean my insides? Right? Why aren't we in touch with our inside essence?
Because we don't think about it.
Yeah, but why? What's the problem? Like, you want to look at your nails, you look at your nails.
It's not
Yeah,
something
but why?
you see.
It's not something to see, but what's blocking? What's blocking? What's blocking is all the nonsense that we're involved with all the time, right? What's blocking is that I'm just so busy with everything else, and worse than that is every time that I do something negative, if you say something bad to somebody, if you ignore somebody, whatever it might be, right? And those things block you from seeing, from being in touch with your inner essence. Okay? It's like, you can't just, you can't just be a tzaddik for 5 minutes a day. You could if you do complete tshuva, but then when the 5 minutes are over, you better continue being a tzaddik. But you can't. You can't say, like 5 minutes before Shabbos, you get upset and you're screaming get everybody right. Everybody knows that Friday afternoon is a time that your temper can just go like that, right? Because everybody's rushing to get ready for Shabbos, and when when a couple is getting married, 2-3 days before the wedding, watch out, big fights between the families. A number of years ago, when there was a couple getting married, and they were staying in a rental. The parents were staying in a rental with their daughter on the Be'er 2:00 in the morning, I get a call from Rivka Lewis. You better come over. There's crazy screaming going on. I said, I'm not going there. But it's because anytime that you want to do something good, anytime that you want to do something special, just something makes an extra effort to upset it, to block it. Okay. So what he's saying over here is like this: is that so suppose, for example, they could get into a big fight 5 minutes before Shabbos, and then it's time for candle lighting, where you expect all of a sudden you're going to have a high Shabbos and it's going to be beautiful and so on. You're carrying all that schmutz, you're taking all that dirt with you into this. Please, thank you. Someone said the door. You're taking all that dirt with you into Shabbos. So how are you going to experience Shabbos, right? And it doesn't even have to be something like that. Sometimes we go over a little bit and do another chair. You guys, here, come here. Bring the chair from there and move a little bit more. Okay. And even let's make it a little bit milder. Okay? Shia, move a bit to the left. Shia, move a bit more this way. Even if what do you call it? Let's say somebody's making a party, and you didn't get invited. Right? Does it ever happen? And yes. How much time do you spend thinking, why didn't they invite me? Why did they ignore me? It never happened to you, right? Jordana for sure not.
Not a good example.
Okay, but the other day, I heard about a party that was being made. Somebody close to me, and I didn't get an invitation. And then I'm davening, and what do you think I was thinking about? I was thinking about how come I didn't get an invitation, right? So that's also spiritual schmutz, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like it's egotistical thinking. Okay.
But you can't go through life blocking out things. One cannot be tranquil all the time.
If you reach the level of Shavisi Hashem L'Negdi Tamid, then you could. But until you get to that level, you can't. Right?
Is it possible that an ordinary person can get to that level?
You're not an ordinary person.
Thank you for telling me. I don't consider.
Negate weiter. Okay. So in other words, you need help from heaven to reach that deepest essence of your being. And to get that help from Hashem, it's a matter of how much do you want it, right? We were learning the other day that unfortunately so much of the time we compromise ourselves with being we can't, I davened for 5 minutes, good enough, because to daven for 6 minutes is a big struggle, right? So 5 minutes is good enough, to go a little bit further is a big struggle. Bless you. So good. So Shem says, so you don't care so much about it. So why should I help you do it? You really have to want to. You really have to want to do it. Baal Shem Tov says on this week's Parshat, Yaakov Avinu is the first Jew born in Israel that has to go into exile, right? And as he's leaving, the Medrash says, can you imagine? My grandfather lives over here, my father lives over here, and I'm getting kicked out. Like, what's wrong with me, right? And he's on the verge of despair. He's on the verge of giving up, right? and it's very painful. So Baruch Hashem, he decides, you know what, as Ezri Mim Hashem Oseh Shemayim Va'aretz, it's all about getting help from God. So Baal Shem Tov says that if when a person has decided in heaven that they're going to deliver the retribution, the punishment for somebody for something that he did that he deserves. So one of the things that happens is that the person's natural level of trust in God is taken away. Then it hurts more. You know, when something is happening, as you say, when something is painful, but you have the trust that it's all for the good, it doesn't hurt as much, right? But if you're lacking the trust, is that it's all for the good and that it is good, then it's very, very painful, right? So he says, so what am I supposed to do if something heavy is coming down on me, and heaven has taken away my trust? So he says, pray to have trust. Pray to Hashem to strengthen your trust in Him. Right? In other words, sometimes you just don't feel like learning Torah, or you don't feel like going to shul, or you don't feel like davening. So what should you do? Well, pray to Hashem that you should want to daven. Pray to Hashem that you should have more trust. So Rabbi Akadosh Meishbitz Omer, so the Ishbitzer says, the holy Ishbitzer says that Hashem menakeh et hapnimiyut shelanu b'sha'ah she'anachnu yeshenim. When does God clean our insides? When we're sleeping. Okay. If you think I understand that, you're wrong. Okay? Let's see what he says. But it sounds good. Min hastam, Avraham itpalel b'li herev l'Hashem shinakeh et hapnimiyut shelo. You can imagine that probably Avraham Avinu prayed without interruption that God should clean his insides. Yitzchak hu haya kodesh kodeshim, and Yitzchak was the holy of holies. Kol davar etzlo lemala mi'asagato. He just related to everything as if it's beyond his comprehension. Aval ish lo hitpalel laHashem shinakeh et hapnimiyut shelo kemo Yaakov Avinu. But nobody prayed to God to be deeply cleansed like Yaakov Avinu did it. It's like Yaakov Avinu did. The si hatfilah haya boto laila, and the peak of that prayer was that night. Vayivga b'makom, when he happened on the place. Al pi pshuto, which simply means vayivga b'makom perusho shuhu higia lamakom, which means he got to that place. Aval afshar lo faresh et hamakom באופן עמוק יותר. We can explain the word hamakom, makom, in a much deeper way. תארו לעצמכם, imagine, שחס ושלום מישהו נמצא בסכנת חיים, somebody is in a life dangerous situation, ואני צריך $1,000,000 כדי להציל אותו, and I need $1 million to save him. Bless you. אז אני רץ לרוטשילד, מבקש $1,000,000. So what do? I run to Rothschild and I ask him for $1 million. איך אדבר אל הברון רוטשילד? How am I going to speak to Baron Rothschild when I ask him for $1 million? האם am I going to say, hey Rothschild, איך נשמע אם לך $1 million? Hey Rothschild, what do you think about giving me $1 million? כמובן שלא, obviously not. רבי לעגל והרבי משבצר אומרים שאני מוכרח לאחוז בידו של העשיר. Obviously, in such a situation, I have to grab him by his hand, ולהתחנן and beg him, בבקשה תציל את האדם הזה, please save this man. Right? In other words, it's got to be very intense. Gam kan, here too, vayivga b'makom, Yaakov achaz kiv'yachol b'makom baruch hu. Vayivga b'makom. Yaakov grasped onto who's known as Makom? Hashem, right? One of the ways that the Talmud refers to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with the word Hamakom, because the world is within his space and the world does not contain him, right? So he is the space, okay? So Vayivga b'makom is Yaakov Avinu grasped onto Hashem. Yaakov achaz kiv'yachol b'makom baruch hu v'tchanen shinakeh pnimiyuto, and he's begging him, clean my guts, clean my insides. Right? Okay, without trying to analyze Yaakov Avinu, but with at the end of the day, let's say at night you're going to bed, you're going to sleep, and should it happen that you think about what you did during the day, which some of us do, right? And you realize that, I saw so-and-so and I barely said hello to them. Or I ignored them, or this, or I maybe did something worse. And you think about, well, why did I do that? Or never mind even something negative. You realize that I really don't feel so connected to all my brothers and sisters, right? Which is a big avoider. And you start thinking about, well, why is that, right? And you realize that I've got this problem that I'm always thinking about myself. I'm always thinking about myself. And if you care, right, you want to get past that. You want to go beyond that. So what Reb Shlomo is saying is that the last prayer of the day, so to speak, is, Hashem, please clean me up. Clean me up, but whether it's going to happen or not, it depends on how you're praying for it. How you're saying, oh, it would really be nice to be a cleaner person, so to speak. Like it would really be nice to if I didn't have this issue and so on. Good night, God. Or are you saying, Hashem, I'm desperate. I don't want to be this way anymore. I really want to feel connected to every one of my brothers and sisters. So Vayivga is it's like a desperate prayer. It's like, it's like somebody grabs you and they're not letting go. They're not letting go. So are you praying for this on the level of, Hashem, I would really appreciate if you would do this, but if you don't, I've managed so far, I'll manage, tomorrow also? Or are you praying to God and saying, I don't want to be like this anymore. I really want to be the beautiful soul that you dreamt of when you dreamt of me before you created the world. Right? Which one? So that's the kind of prayer. So the Tzarenu, let's do another paragraph. The Tzarenu, much to our distress, unfortunately, we're very far from our souls. In other words, as we live as if we're very far from them. We're just aware of our minds and of our hearts, how we feel and how we're thinking. And not being aware of our souls, what does that mean? That we really don't know anything. You have to admit this. In other words, an important step along the way is to just admit that that's the way it is. Most people don't even get to taste the slightest bit of their inner essence. All the rabbis talk about this. That which most of us think that we want, it's not what we really want. It's not the true desires of our beings. We know what our outer shell wants. What do I want on the deepest level? Most of us are rarely in touch with that. What do I really want? Right? What do I really want? So you didn't get invited to the party. It's bothering you. But what is it that you really want? Right? Reb Shlomo once said, when you see a Yid sitting in a fancy car at a red light in Manhattan, Friday night at Shabbos, and a nice looking girl is walking by and he starts honking his horn at her, what do you see? Do you see what you see, or do you see that he's screaming to God, saying, God, show me how true you are and get me out of this mess? Right? That's already looking at another person. But so that guy is sitting in the car honking his horn. What is it that he really wants? Right? If he would stop for a minute, so obviously he had a moment of inspiration. Right? Was it an inspiration for something negative, or is there something deeper behind that?
Who had the inspiration?
The guy sitting in the car, he sees this beautiful girl. He's inspired to honk his horn.
Okay.
You're like really into that here.
Huh? What?
Everybody here loves to.
Honk horns. Yeah. So, what is it that you really want, right? You're walking along the street, and all of a sudden, something scares you. Okay, what is it that you're really scared of? Right? You know the story that Reb Levi Yitzchak of Radishev. He asked the Reb Baruch of Mezhebush, who was the grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, he wanted to come to him for Shabbos. Now Reb Baruch was a quiet type of personality, and when he prayed focused, quietly. It took only a certain amount of time. Reb Levi Yitzchak used to go, he was an ecstatic. He used to go jumping around in the room, crashing into the walls and everything and so on. And so he asked Reb Baruch, can you come for Shabbos? Reb Baruch said, if you'll daven the way I do, and without your shtick of jumping around and this and that and so on, then you can come for Shabbos. So he promised him he would do that. Actually there's, do you know Dr. Adam Silver in LA? So he used to be a student at Mayanot. So one day Rabbi Shem Tov calls up Badayin, and he asked the yeshiva in Badayin would they be willing to accept him, because Adam is an ecstatic. Ever saw him davening? And this is without drugs. This guy, no matter how high the ceiling is, he is jumping up to the ceiling, like crazy. His mamish like such a pure soul. He's like Rabbi Levi Yitzchak, sort of, right? So it was too much for Mayanot, it was too much for their yeshivas, it was too much for their headspace. So he sent him off to Badayin, In any case, so Rabbi Levi Yitzchak promised Reb Baruch that he would behave himself, he would daven quietly without jumping around. Mamish, comes Friday night, and they're davening, everything's good. Comes the Shabbos meal. Reb Levi Yitzchak is sitting next to Reb Baruch, and one of the students is going around serving, and he comes to Reb Levi Yitzchak and he says, do you love sour fish or sweet fish? Reb Levi Yitzchak says, do I love sour fish or do I love sweet fish? I love Shabbos! And he jumps up and the fish tray goes flying all over the place and lands on Reb Baruch's beautiful talis, which he never washed ever afterwards, because he said these are stains from the Jew who really loves God, who loves Shabbos and keeping these stains, So,
That's a good excuse when I get a spot on my face. I used to say, "Zeich the Chulban," but that's better.
you got 10 points for that one, Michal. Good, right?
You learn
So-
everything here.
So, it's why did I bring up this story? And the whole thing is because how much do you really care about it, right? How much, like, like one of the first people the first person I ever heard ask me, Reb Shlomo, he said, how was Shabbos? How many, you ever hear people say, how was Shabbos?
Yeah.
Nowadays you hear it. But when he first started doing that, like, Shabbos is over, I'm having my cigarette. Why are you asking me about how Shabbos was, right?
That's true.
Huh?
That's true.
You remember in the shuls, like people would be
Nobody
looking
used
at,
to ask how Shabbos was.
nobody used to ask how Shabbos was. Shabbos was Shabbos. It's over now, right?
Right.
And I knew people that they used to bring cigarettes to shul and keep them in shul, so that as soon as Shabbos was over,
Yeah, that's true.
light the cigarette. It was like
Yeah.
almost like you couldn't wait till it still happens, right? You can't wait until it's over because So when Reb Shlomo started asking, how was Shabbos? It's like people started thinking, oh, how was Shabbos? So this is what he's talking about. So he's saying that when during the day I'm running around, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, so I'm not cleaning my insides, right? But before you go to sleep, if you really pray intensely to Hashem, come on, I really want to live differently tomorrow. I don't want to do the same things in the same stupid way that I've been doing it all this time. I want to do it in a more real way. I want that when I see someone and I say hello, I want it to be a real hello. I want it to be a real boker tov, So please, I'm going to sleep now. Please, like, not just please, but mamish, I'm desperate already. Clean out these insides.
And one has to say it just like that.
No, you have to say it the way you're going to say it.
No, but
You know what I mean.
But
Yeah.
the essence is
You have to say it in your
ask.
own words, in sincere, intense words. Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Well, look, how many people want to be tzaddikim or tzadkaniyot?
I don't know.
Huh? Do you want to be one?
I don't know. I
See?
don't know.
She's giving an honest answer. She's
Listen,
giving an honest answer. A lot of people would say,
Sarah suffered so
I'm
much.
glad that somebody else is a tzaddik.
Sarah suffered so much. Somebody brought up Sarah. She had to wait till such an old age.
Yeah.
Like, is that such a great place to be? I mean, it's nice, Olam Haba and all that, but like, there's so much suffering with all this. A lot of suffering. It's nice.
Yeah.
All that.
You're not saying anything that's different. You're saying something very honest, and it's true for most of us, right? Our concept of being a holy person, right? You've seen this. Could everybody, for one moment, please just visualize a holy person, just in your mind. Do it now. Do it right now. Visualize a holy person. Okay. Now, question number one: is this person male or female?
Yeah.
Female.
Male. Those of you said male, pick up your hands. I want to just take a count. And female? Okay. So this is an unusual group. In most groups, when I've asked this question, the vast majority, when they visualize a holy person, they visualize a male person.
Mhm.
Second question: is this person that you visualized your age or a lot older? A lot older, right? Third question: are they dressed like you?
No.
Not a single one of them?
Yeah, it's different.
Huh?
Different gender. They couldn't be dressed like that.
That's.
I don't
I
know
mean,
if
it's not. Wait. The point is this: The point is this. The point is that
That's witchcraft.
the point is that when you think about a holy person, you usually think about many people usually think about somebody that's so different from ourselves, so different from me, that I don't even imagine that I'm one day going to be a holy person. Because my picture of a holy person is of somebody that's so different. But the mitzvah to be holy is a mitzvah that's given to every one of us, Kedoshim to you. Right? Every one of us is commanded to be holy. Doesn't mean that you have to change your clothes. Doesn't mean that you have to change, anything. It's just you have to be,
It's the same thing as being excited.
To be holy, yeah.
It's hard. It's work. It's
Sure.
work.
So the first question is, do you want to? Understand? That's the do you really want to? And that is probably the key question. How much do I want it? That's what Reb Shlomo is saying over here. Ma'ariv Tfilat Arvit is Reshut. Right? Davening is being close to God. You're not obligated now. How close do you want to be? How close do you want to be? That's what Arvit is about. How close do you want to be? How right? So Reb Shlomo always used to end up, he'd say, bless me and I bless you back, that we should live with a little bit of these teachings. So tomorrow is this we don't have this class, but on Thursday we continue.
Right.
And tonight Ziva is inviting you.
Yes.
If you're not coming to the reception class, if you have nothing else to do,
Yes.
it's her daughter's Yorkshire tonight. Yochana.
So we'll see 20 to 40s, but with some exceptions of the people in this class, they can come because they're personally invited.
Why are you giving me those?
If anybody needs to where to
If
go,
anybody needs the
I
address.
have the address here. Just take it and
You have
whatever.
to be between 20 and
You
40.
can come because you're on a personal invitation. We're doing that because there was a group called Jerry's Group in Nachlaot.
Yeah.
It disbanded and moved to Tel Aviv, but we feel that there's a need for a learning group once a week and maybe Shabbos lunch once a month. We're trying to we live in such a beautiful neighborhood of Nachlaot, and